Alright, it's been a while since I initially did the first part of this video, and I got quite a bit done now. Like I said before, I scratched my cornea on my right eye again. That really took me out. But it's more or less healed now. I still am suffering from it every now and then. But I'm in the process of getting the other leg put together. I just got done hosing the crap out of the joint right here for the knee. Because what's going to happen is that the leg is now going to bend up this way. And I gotta make sure this actually doesn't break apart. Good grief! I gotta make sure it's actually nice and durable, so it doesn't just bust over its own weight and whatnot. So the next step for me to do is to finish up the rest of the leg. So I'll come back when I get all that done, hopefully tonight at some point. Quick update: I had to do a little cut on the wooden dowel because I didn't place it in properly. Now it's at the right angle. So I had to go in there, put more wooden dowels, more hot glue, and more securing so it doesn't collapse and whatnot. I've done this before and I should be just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the next bit up, and then I'm going to reinforce that. And then I'm going to go and reinforce the inside of this. So I'll come back when I get all that done. I don't know how I'll be able to show it off because I'm going to be just hosing this thing with hot glue and hosing it with wooden dowel, not wooden dowels, popsicle sticks and whatnot. It took a lot longer than I initially was hoping for, but the other leg is now complete, which means I can now start on the lower torso of Mikumo. I'm going to start that off tomorrow. So hopefully I'll have these two legs actually connected by the end of the day. With that said, my internet died, so yay me. So my plans tomorrow is that, since this is about where I'm at on both legs right here, is to get basically from here all the way up to here done tomorrow. And actually connect the legs to the actual lower torso and whatnot too. Another thing I am going to do is I'm going to go back into Blender, and I'm going to add a little plate that goes from this foot to this foot right here, so I can have them properly placed apart from each other. That way so you'll be standing properly. So that's tomorrow's plan. So with that said, now I just gotta wait for my internet to come back. It's been a few days, but I finally got the lower torso started, and it was such a pain in the ass. Especially this area right here, as you can see by the globs of hot glue. It just was not wanting to form properly for a long time. I managed to finally get it to properly maintain its shape, but man, this was such a pain in the ass. And I even have some gaps here and there, like this one right here. And I think that's actually mainly due to the fact that I pre-attached the legs too early, and they're just too far apart, putting too much tension on the paper. And I didn't notice that or figure that out until very recently. So obviously when I cut the two legs apart, everything went by relatively fine. It just was still a pain in the butt. And even still, the former doesn't 100% align with the paper. But that is to be expected due to the way these things are designed, unfortunately. But with that said, I've finally gotten somewhere at this point, and I'm actually happy with how well it's actually coming out now, since I've figured out what was not allowing the paper to properly form and whatnot. Also, I've been working on this thing since 5 something or 6 something yesterday. It's what, almost 10 a.m. now. I've been working on this for a long time. I'm very tired. I need to go to bed. But yeah, hopefully my speech won't be so slurred tomorrow. But this is where I'm at with Mikumo. I also made two little feet things, that way so I can have the feet properly spread apart. But due to the way Mikumo is designed right now, she just wants to fall forward every single time. So what I'm hoping for is that as I'm building her out more upwards, there'll be more weight pushing towards the back of her. That way, so this forward momentum that she currently has will be negated. But if that's not the case, I'll just make a simple foam board platform and just hose her feet down to that. But one thing at a time, and I guess right now I need to go to bed. But before I do want to give a little update on what I'm hoping to get done tomorrow when I wake up, or later today, dependent. So as you already saw, I got this much of the torso done. What I want to get done tomorrow is the rest of the torso, and maybe a little bit of this upper area right here. So what I actually need to do is I need to export this model out of Papercraft. That way so I can pop it into a blender. That way so I can add a former right in here. And also remove this former and this former right here. Because originally when I was actually going to build her, I think I stated I was going to have her split right here. But obviously that's not going to be the case anymore. But I'm going to have her split right here. And the reason I'm going to do that is I'll be able to easily hide that split due to the way the model is designed. So what I need to do, like I said, is remove this former, which I believe I can even do that right now if I just go into show object list. And all I need to do is just select this former and that former, delete them, and then figure out how exactly I need to export this, and then export as necessary. Sorry about the annoying helicopter. So that's my plan for tomorrow, is to basically get the midsection of Mikumo finished, and hopefully a little bit of the upper portion. If I can't get the upper portion done tomorrow, it'll definitely hopefully be done the next day. But with that said, yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. Alright, so I got the lower portion of her upper body built, and it came out relatively fine. Just like the lower portion right there, this part was a bit of a pain in the butt, but not as bad as the area right here was. The big area I had issues with was right in here. I don't know how well you can see the hot glue, but I had so much hot glue and so much heat right here, and yet it actually seems to be holding out just fine. So as it stands right now, all this former is doing is just holding the actual shape. I haven't gone in there and added in all the proper reinforcements because I want to build a little bit of the upper portion to see how everything melds. And I'm hoping everything melds. It should, and if it does, then I'll go in there, add in all the proper reinforcements, remove this former, and then make a more proper former for this section here. And then I'll add in all the other little bits like the wooden dowel. It needs to go from the middle, from down here somewhere to the middle. That way so I can have some type of anchor point for the upper portion to anchor onto. And then figure out if I need to wait like a week or so to get some rare earth magnets, or if I can come up with some type of locking system like I did with a Mikumo. I think I'm going to, not Mikumo, but Shirley. I'm going to try and do a locking system like I did with Shirley when it comes to locking the upper and lower body of Shirley. For those that watched that video and saw how I actually locked her, or locked the two halves and whatnot. But again, that'll be tomorrow, I'm thinking, or maybe a little later on, depending on how things go. But I got the lower portion again finally built, like I said, and overall it came out fairly fine. There is inconsistencies and whatnot, but that's to be the case with all these builds. But generally speaking, I'm actually very impressed with it. So with that said, you can also note that I'm not actually having to hold her to stop her from falling over. That's because I have a temporary stand built for her already. I hot glued her to it and whatnot, and I'll be able to easily remove it when I actually go to make a more permanent stand. Now, due to the way that she's currently designed, like I said before, she wants to fall forward constantly. And even though I hot glued her feet to the stand, she still puts a lot of torque onto it and whatnot. So I have this little bracer bar to stop any bending, and I have this paper strip going from the heel of the foot thing right here, going all the way to the underside, and that's just hot glued in on both the foot thing and the underneath of the plate here. And that's really all that's necessary to lock her from falling over and whatnot. I'm going to do that. I'm also going to do that for the official stand also. And I'm going to go even the extra mile and lock both feet down. But for right now, I just need one foot locked, and that's this one right here. But yeah, with that said, Hopefully I will upload another video in the next few days, because tomorrow or later today would depend on whatever happens, because it's almost 1 p.m. I'm getting really tired. I'm going to put the little bit of the upper portion together, and maybe just a full upper portion, just to record that all together and whatnot. But yeah. So with that said, I will stop the video here and upload it.